All right, that was Kathy Kennedy's opening track for her new album called Vocal Jams, or Vowel Jams, sorry. And it is almost entirely vocals. Is that right, Kathy?
That's right. It is entirely vocals.
I wanted to ask you that kind of out the gate. It sounded like there was a cello or something in this track or string. Are you
Uh,
doing all of that with your voice?
That well, I have this little Boss vocal pedal, which is I don't have it near me, and so I don't remember the name, but it's a very standard old even vocal pedal. And I have gotten into it and made my own presets, uh, effects so that I can make myself sound like I wanna.
So this whole album is a cappella.
Yep, it is.
Wow, that's fantastic. Welcome, Kathy Kennedy. This new album of yours is really amazing. I listened to it. I get a lot of music via email, and sometimes I open the links and give a listen if my schedule allows. And I got the email from your PR person, opened this album, and I just thought, wow, this is new. This is awesome, great new music. And we've had a couple of a cappella vocal features on the channel. I don't know if you know Crystal Beth, but she uses a looper and a clarinet, and she does really incredible vocal work with that. And we did a whole feature on Todd Rundgren's a cappella album. But what you've done here is very novel. I listened to the whole album several times. It's really wonderful. I'll shut up now. I'd love for you to just provide some context and background on this album that's coming out later this month.
Thanks so much, Anthony, for your listening. Well, in fact, the album is in spite of the fact that I've been music making for at least 30 years, this is my first solo vocal CD. And I'm exclusively a vocalist. I mean, I play a few instruments, but not well. And I trained as a classical singer, in fact. Um, and I normally make big choral pieces or sound installations using all kinds of technology, radio, low watt radio, cell phones, and a lot of different things. But I felt like it was time in my career to just make these sounds that are for me, because as a community artist, I like to engage the public at large, and so a lot of my music for big groups of people and for outdoor installations and so on is what I might call, um, well, I don't know how to say it, but it's not as weird as this. But so this is my things that I like to do and make.
Was this recorded live with a looper, or were you doing editing and post production?
Uh-huh. It all starts with live playing on my looper. And I'm really interested in doing improv as much as possible. So I wanted to hopefully try and keep some of that improv energy and sensibility in it. But I also really like working on multi-track recording, editing software. Um, I, I love how my pieces look like tapestries that I get to, and it's a challenge not to overproduce them and still just keep some of the freshness, and, yeah, and keep them flexible and fluid. So I think that's why I gave myself the uh, the possibility of adding some field recordings and some text. You will have heard some text in the tracks, but it doesn't happen like song lyrics. It just kind of comes in as text, because I just want to break out of some of those traditional models.
So tell me about what inspired this album, because you said you've done a lot of work in music and the broader community for, I think you told
Mm-hmm.
me, over 30, 35 years. And then
Yeah.
then you put out an album. Who waits 3 4 decades to do that?
Oh, huh? Funny, huh? I think if I'm honest, I think it has to do with, well, it's not just self-confidence, because I love challenges and I take them on, regularly. But one of the big projects in my life was this feminist choir that I spent 25 years with, and making music for them. The other was a new media center for women in Montreal, which receives all levels of governmental funding, and it may not be the only one of its kind now, but it has been the only new media center dedicated to women. And so, that really took up a lot of my time. But I'm actually a little shy about being on stage all by myself, and which is another reason why I do all these big group projects, to have my friends around me. Um, but I think I think I owed it to myself, really, to do this. And the other thing that happened for me this year is that I got to publish a retrospective book on my work as a community artist and sound artist, called Singing Off the Grid. And since that book's been out, I feel a sense of closure. It's not that I'm not going to do all of those wacky outdoor environmental pieces. It's just now it's time for me to just have more fun doing stuff I like. That's what this that's what this CD is about. I think it I think it sounds like I'm having fun because I am. And I think it's also I don't think it fits into any genre. Do you? It's not noise music. It's you know, it's not dance music, but it's definitely got a groove. And you know, it is improv, but it's also got some, you know, kind of nicely polished, finished parts. So what is it? Don't know.
Yeah, well, that's why we're here with you, on Make Weird Music, because we seem to attract that kind of genreless artist and musician. Um, I can't say
And
that.
thank heaven.
Oh, thanks.
Thank heavens for that site, you know, because I mean it. I think it's a really important, it's a political thing. Well, I don't know about political, but it's economic, you know, the way the music industry forces us to label ourselves and fit into these boxes. My goodness, do we ever need shows like yours that, you know, highlight how musicians don't really think that way, you know? Those
Yeah.
genres are for consumers, for
Well,
consumer consumption.
when I hear the kind of music that you're producing, I just think it is a risk taking effort. You would think creative and artistic expression would be well embraced, and that we as a race would encourage this. Just go be yourself, do create art, be creative. It's important as a part of being human. And then we find ourselves saying, "Well, you don't fit in this box." So maybe try again, but maybe sound a little bit more like that so we can sell some copies.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right. So, in your press release, I'd like to just cover this pretty quickly before we get to the second track. Um,
sure thing.
it said that your music and art has strong tangible ties to the philosophies of R. Murray Schafer and Pauline Oliveros. Now, I don't know
Oh,
who R. Murray Schafer is, but Pauline Oliveros, we've featured some of her work on, I believe, a couple of playlists, and she's been mentioned over the years. So, could you tell us about these philosophies and inspiration?
sure. Well, R. Murray Schafer is basically the father of what is known as acoustic ecology, listening to the sound of our environment and tuning to our environment through sound. He's a Canadian classical composer, a rebel of the highest order. And I was lucky I did my master's thesis on his work. And so he's had a profound influence on me. And an equally uh, famous mentor in my life was Pauline Oliveros. And if your audience hasn't heard of her, I suggest you Google her and see the incredible scope of her work. She was a fearless um, leader, pioneer, groundbreaker in electroacoustic music, but also in the 70s, she published this set of scores called Sonic Meditations. And they're very groundbreaking for all kinds of reasons. And through that period, she developed something called deep listening, which is a meditation practice that is based on listening. So um, and she has developed or she has created a huge community of people that are, you know, very very consciousness based, making music for ethical reasons, I would say. So with those two together, the deep listening and the acoustic ecology, I mean, I am so lucky to have known both those individuals relatively well, and I think of them all the time.
If I remember correctly, Pauline used to run sort of retreats or sort of camps about music
Yes,
listening, right?
yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm their certified deep listeners, and they still do the center. There is a center for deep listening now that comes out of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, which is in Troy, New York, where she lived. And there's still a community of deep listeners.
That's great. Now set us up
Yeah.
for the track we're going to hear next, Low, Low, Low.
Ah, that's a really good example of both of those people. So l'eau in French is water. No, no, no. And it just comes out of one of my many improv sessions. Um, and it is a piece that has some field recordings of water and different ways in which water has been really important to me. I grew up on the Atlantic coast of Quebec, um, way out, right next to the water. And so I think that the piece is there's a lot of pieces about water, you know. And I hope this one is a more playful one that takes you on a bit of a journey.
All right, let's take a listen. Low, Low, Low. That really is an adventure. You did a great job with that one.
Thank you so much, Anthony.
Yes, so this new album is available. Well, right now it's October 14th. It's coming out on Halloween, October 31st. And
Right?
it's a $10 Canadian download. So, American viewers, that's $7 for us. Come on. So, round up to 10 if you pre order. There's an option on Bandcamp where people can order the CD plus a book. And if you have a book with you, it would be great to see it.
Sure, would love to show you. This is my little booklet zine of sketches that scary picture of me, but also a, a book of sketches, which are really important to me. I started out in visual art, in fact, and only got the confidence to make singing my main thing when my art professors used to say to me, you're already making your living as a musician. Why don't you just do that? I'm like, oh, okay. So anyway, um, I like to make um, drawings that represent the sound. So this is Howooh for the first track that you heard. And then there are other drawings. Let me just
Are
show you
these
this.
are these scores that direct what you're going to do, or are they retrospective? Like once you've recorded it, then you do the art.
Right. Like they are after it,
Okay.
but they kind of remind me of scores in how they represent, you know, the music itself. And so just like the music, they're in that place in between genres.
Hmm.
So it's an accompanying booklet, and inside the booklet you get the download code to the Bandcamp. I didn't feel like making CDs this time around. I don't own a CD player myself, so but my producer from Orchard of Pomegranates was she was keen on me making a an object, and it is nice to have a material object, isn't it? So I thought I'd go for
Absolutely.
the
Yeah, I love that. And we've had a couple of people. We had a guy who writes scores, but very visual scores. He did some scores of, I don't know if you know Mike Patton's albums like Prenzo, Old Transista, and Adult Themes for Voice. But the scores are wild. Um, anyway, yeah, so it's cool to see these visual representations of the music, and I love that there is a physical thing to get because at this point I have, I don't know, 1,000 CDs sitting on the wall here, and I just think, what am I going to do with these things? I love physical media, but it sure would be nice to just have a digital album and then a thing to go with it. So yeah, I'm with you. It's a great idea. So October 31st is the official release date, and for anyone who's watching, the URL has been on the screen while we've listened to music. It's Kathy with a K, Kennedy, um, Kathy, Kennedy.bandcamp.com. And you can go there and pre order this album, or if you're watching this after October 31st, 2025, you can just buy the thing. And it's really wonderful. Kathy, I want to commend you for your good work on this. Really, really nice.
thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Wow.
You're welcome. All right. And the last track we're going to listen to is called Owayo, which I saw the art. You had the boxes, rectangles, Owayo in the different rectangles. Tell us about this piece before we listen and close.
You know, there's nothing so much to say about this piece. Um, more than the fact that what the piece it comes from is me just making vowels, you know, and having this kind of embodied relationship with the vowels. You know, the famous singer Enrique Caruso said that singing is nothing more than one vowel going to the next, punctuated by consonants. And that is technically what singing is, vowels. And how we make vowels are is by changing the shape of our vocal tract. And so when I'm never at a loss for something to improvise, because all I have to do is just move my mouth around and see what happens.
And I could swear, maybe not on this track, I could swear I heard some maybe conical influences or some sort of Indian sounds. Were you trained in that at all?
I wasn't. I studied it to some extent, and it's always been a great love of mine, Carnatic music. But it just pops in there just for fun.
Okay, great. Let's take a listen. Kathy, thank you again for joining us. And again, anyone who's going to buy the album or even just listen to it, you can listen on Bandcamp. Just go to kathykennedy.bandcamp.com.
Thanks so much, Anthony.
You're welcome.